We down 3-1, bro. This is perfect, bro.
I told you.
Good night, down. We playing free. We ain't got nothing to lose.
And so there we obviously Anthony Edwards excited to play game 5, and you could say whatever you want about this dude. He loves to play basketball, and any fan of basketball, you gotta love that. Like, this guy wants to go out there and compete regardless of the situation, regardless of how he played. Obviously a lot of people have been going on and on about his play recently. I said this early about Tatum. Sometimes you just have bad stretches. Like, sometimes you just have bad shooting nights, or you just can't figure it out. And that's when having a great team around you comes into play, especially in the playoffs, where, yeah, those other guys are going to have to really help you more than usual to maybe win 2 games out of the 4. And then you get to really lead them for 2 or 3 games. Like, it's how this shit works out. But I was talking a little bit yesterday. It's probably too little too late. And I love his enthusiasm, but there's a reason as to why no team has ever come back from 3-0. And that team that goes up 3-0 typically has figured out, or I guess every single time has figured out ways to be successful against you in 3 straight games. And usually that game that they lose, it's just a mental lapse. They were too comfortable. Bad shooting night like Kyrie had the other night. Like, it was, like I said, the Timberwolves had a great game. Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns finally showed up as the duo. And they still only won by 5 points. I think they have a great future ahead of them. However, when it comes to this particular series, I don't see them coming out of it. That's a tough ask. That's a really, really tough ask. Now, I do think that every single game has been really, really close. So, without that game winner by Luka the other game, this could be 2-2. That's how close this entire series has been. I think the first 3 games, it's like 13 points in total was the difference. So this series has been really, really close. So can the Minnesota Timberwolves roll the table? Can they run the table? Maybe. But I think at the end of the day, the Dallas Mavericks have, 77-11? Is that their numbers? Kyrie and Luka. And it just is what it is, man. It just is what it is. I said it before. I don't know if I have faith in Karl Anthony Towns. He shows up one game, not really in it the other game. Wait, what's who are you talking about, Elijah? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But it is. Are you talking about the Dallas Mavericks? Are you talking about the Mavericks in game 4? Is that what you're talking about? Hey, you're talking about the Timberwolves. I mean, like I said, I feel like when it comes to, yeah, so I'm on the fence about what you're saying. So if I'm hearing you correctly, and I wish this chat would come up, bro, but I gotta fix it later. But I think what I hear you saying is you want the players to look like they care more. Essentially, I don't know if I'm simplifying that too much. Um, But yeah, that was my issue with Karl Anthony Towns after game 3, and he was over here talking about fucking 1,500 shots, and I'm like, bro, you're missing the entire point. First of all, just own the fact that you played bad, but two, don't make some bullshit like I'm shooting a bunch of shots. I didn't like that. Um, but yeah, so I, honestly, I think, like I was just saying, I do think a part of this series is one that game winner by Luka, right? If he didn't hit that, and they obviously won last game, this whole conversation would look very, very differently. You know what I'm saying? Because they'd be going into game 5 2-2. So I do think that maybe that's why they've been more nonchalant. That's why they're acting as if they're not really under pressure, because maybe their conversation is, hey, we could be 2-2 or 3-2 or 3-1, because the other two games were also really close. And maybe they're just trying to have some poise. Like I said, I've seen it with the Boston Celtics down the stretch. They could be down 8, 9, 10 points, and they never seem rattled. They act like they've been there. So hopefully it's not some kind of act, right, that they're just looking like they're unbothered, that they're just trying to stay composed. But yeah, like I said, Elijah, it was bothering the fuck out of me the way that Karl Anthony Towns responded after game 3. He was pretending as if like oh my god, my shot just isn't falling, when that's not the reason why you're playing bad. Your jump shot going in or not going in is not the reason why we're saying you're playing bad.